Well, it is the Wednesday after Christmas, and we took about a week off just to hang out with family and do presents and that kind of stuff. And anyways, we're getting back into it. And yesterday I started taking down the sheetrock here in the living room, just like we did with the kitchen. Didn't figure you guys cared about watching me knock that down. But today I wanted to show you that we put the cabinets in here that I told you I bought. This is going to be the island. It's going to be roughly right about here. And then it will have an overhang right here so we can put some bar stools and you know, have breakfast there or something like that. But this is what the kitchen kind of is gonna look like, and we did finish grouting the tile. That was the last video, so if you missed that, check it out. We got our table just set up for Katie and I, and then we can move it out if we need to. But it looks great. But the point of this video is kind of why I started knocking down this drywall, and that is, it is like 4 degrees outside, and I'm not exaggerating. Actually, it's probably more like 10, but it feels like 0. So it's so cold, our furnace does not shut off because we still don't have insulation in the attic, and that's what this video is about. I'm gonna prep to do insulation. So I have some things I have to finish before we can put insulation in there. And the biggest one is installing lights in the kitchen. So right here, you can see this is just a blank ceiling. Ideally, we would have put the lights up before the drywall, but this will work too. Basically, what our plan is we're gonna put 2 cans just like those right up here above, kind of above the sink. So right in there. And then above the island here, I'm just gonna rough in 2 boxes, and then we're gonna have little hanging pendant lights, which we haven't bought yet, but we found some that we liked at Home Depot. So I'm gonna rough in those, and then I'm gonna rough in one over here, kind of above where the table will be, so that we can have another hanging light over the table. So that's what I'm gonna do first, and then I also have some other random electrical things to do. I need to, obviously I'm gonna redo all the wiring in this room, so I need to drop a hot wire down, which I already did for this switch, so I think I'll be able to just use that and run all the electrical outlets off of it. And then I also need to install 2 more switches, because what we're gonna do is have this one for the living room lights, one for the light above the table, and then another one for all the other 4 lights above the island and above the sink. So got 2 lights to install, and basically to do all that I'm gonna have to take all of this sheetrock down. So I think I'm gonna start with the lights, just getting those boxes put in, and then I will move on to running the wire and probably cleaning up this disaster, all this sheetrock. And oh, I also have to redo the exterior light, which, as you can tell, they cut the biggest hole they possibly could, and wasps and ladybugs were just infesting this whole cavity. You can see there's more wasp nests. They're all dead because it's 4 degrees outside, but I vacuumed up probably no less than 700 ladybugs. You can see them. No. Oh yeah, you can, right there. Tons of them. It's crazy. I probably should take this outside and dump it. I just finished marking all the holes. These 2 bigger holes on the back side are about 6/16 of an inch for the can lights, which will be just like those. And then these are like 4-inch holes roughly for these little boxes. And I went ahead and got them on brackets because I knew I would want them kind of exactly where I want, in between the joist, instead of being stuck right on a joist. So anyways, those will work out perfect. So those 3 are gonna go here, here, and here. And then I got 2 can lights for over here. This one is centered on this wall, and then to the left just a little bit to give some more room for a chair there. And then it is also centered on this wall, and then to the left just a little bit, so that we have more room to walk in between where the table will be and the island. So I set up the table over there to kind of test, and it seems fine to me. So again, that one will have a hanging light with probably 3 or 4 bulbs on it, and then these will just be a single hanging pendant light and then can lights. So now I am going to get some wire, get my tools in the garage, take all these fixtures up there, hammer them in, screw them in, and then I will run the wire for those, hook them up to the switch, and at some point I'm gonna have to clean all this crap up. All right, well, it's about an hour later. Got all the holes drilled as you saw, and I got all the boxes put in, and then I just finished wiring. So these obviously have the wires coming down. These are wired above, so I will put some can lights or recessed LEDs in there. Then these will be the hanging lights. Left plenty of wire out so that I can cut it to the length I need. And then over here, I took this piece of sheetrock off, got my triple box mounted. This is the power wire for that light, the one above the table. This is gonna be the power wire for the other 4. And then one of these is hot all the time, and then one of these is the wire going to the living room lights. So at some point I will redo this and put them in the box, but this I needed to get done so we can put the insulation in. I can do that stuff at any time. So anyways, I think I'm gonna take you guys up here and show you the attic, because it's been a while since you've been up here. You can see the beam, the 2 beams. There's a 2x6 beam and then a 2x8 beam attached to the top of it. You might be able to see it better on this side. So these are those wires that were coming out at the switch box. One of them is right there. It goes to the one above the table, and the other one goes down there. You can see the cans right there and there, and then the little boxes are kind of right in there. And then these are the cans for the living room, which once I get real recessed lights, you won't be able to see the light through them, and they'll seal the air so that the hot air doesn't rise through those like it is right now. So that'll save us a lot on heating bill and cooling bill, but really getting some insulation in here will stop most of the airflow. So you can see it's just completely bare. That's a huge vent, so all that heat's just coming right out of these and out of those, and all the little holes along the edges, you can see some light through there. The air is just going straight up and out. So a couple more things I have to do before we can insulate. And just so I'm clear, I'm not gonna insulate over on this side yet because there is insulation up here. I'm just gonna insulate from probably here over, because I do have electrical work to do for this bedroom, and I don't wanna have to move all that insulation. I'll just put it in at a later time. And anyways, a couple things I have to do before we can insulate is I need to run these drain pipes. They're vents for the bathroom fixtures. I need to run those through the roof, which I'm gonna take that one over there and just kind of connect it to this one, and then run one hole out the roof so I have less chance of it leaking. The other thing I need to do is this right here, this box, if you can see it, that is the exhaust fan. And if you can see that little black tube coming out of it, I need to run a vent straight up out here so that the exhaust doesn't just make all the insulation moist and it can go outside. One more thing, this motor is wired with just some of that old wire. So I'm gonna open it up and see if I can swap it for new wire, this 12 gauge with the yellow shield with ground, so I'll ground it. And then I'm gonna replace the box and the switch. It's on a timer switch, so I'll just get new ones of those and replace it so this is all grounded as well. Oh man, it is about 10 o'clock at night. I'm kind of wrapping things up for the night, but I wanted to bring you up here on the roof to show you what I've done. I got a little bit more to do. Oh, let's get this light so you can see. So you can see these two things I added today. This one is the plumbing vent to get airflow so the pipes don't have a vacuum in it. super important. And then this one is for the exhaust fan in the bathroom, which you know, you turn it on when you're showering and it takes all the air out. Well, most of them aren't actually hooked up right, they just go to the attic, but that causes mold problems. So this is hooked up, and it'll come out down there, and there's like a screen in there, so you know, rodents can't get in, and there's a flapper, so this is only open when the fan's on. This is the old stack for the old water heater, so I'm gonna remove this, but I pushed it up when I was in the attic to kind of get some room, but I'm gonna remove it eventually. I don't know, it's not really that big of a deal to me, but it would be nice to not see it when you're driving in the street, because you can see it's above the roof line. And then this one down over here is the one that I added when I moved the water heater back into that closet. So you can see it when you drive up from the side, but not from the front of the house, so it's kind of nice. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys can see me. I don't want to blind myself, but yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I have a little bit more to do before I can do insulation. So tomorrow I won't be working because Katie and I are gonna go see the new Star Wars, but Friday I have a half day, so and I'm off Monday, so there will be a lot of videos this weekend. I'm gonna try to make one each day, because they just get so long if I don't. So anyways, if you guys like this video, if you want to see more in depth, if you just let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, and I'll do it, because I don't care. So anyways, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see the next one.